Manananggal, scary urban horror legend.
David was a very good travel writer. He was very fond of going to different countries of the world. Recently, David had come to the Philippines. The Philippines is considered one of the most beautiful countries in Southeast Asia. As soon as he reached the Philippines, David started exploring the famous places there for a few days. He had heard a lot about the beautiful villages of the Philippines. After seeing some small cities and villages, David had now reached a very small village in the Vishem Islands. That place was very beautiful and the people there were also very friendly. One day, David was sitting near the river of the town when he saw a woman wearing the Philippine hat called salcoat coming to the river and filling water in a bucket. David also wanted to take some human portrait photos for his blog. David started clicking that woman's photo for his blog. Suddenly, while filling water, that woman's hat fell off. And when David saw the woman's face, he was stunned. The woman was extremely beautiful. He had never seen such a beautiful woman anywhere before. Seeing her face, David kept staring at her. But as soon as David clicked her photo, the woman's attention went towards David. She realized that David was taking her photo. Suddenly, the woman got very nervous and covered her face with her hat, threw the bucket right there, and immediately ran away from there. David felt that maybe he had made the woman uncomfortable, and he felt very bad. The day had ended, and David returned to the only hotel in that small village. He was very tired, so as soon as he lay down on the bed, he fell asleep. When David was in a deep sleep, he felt as if someone was breathing near his face. As soon as he opened his eyes, his heart sunk. A woman was sitting near his bed whose face was also covered with a Philippine hat. Only her lips were visible. David jumped in shock from his bed. He stood near the door and started asking the woman who she was. The woman didn't say anything and kept sitting there stiff. David asked her again. Suddenly, the woman turned her neck towards David and started laughing in a very strange way. Her lips were completely black and in her laughter, David saw long, rotten, sharp teeth. Seeing her, David got extremely scared. He picked up the water kettle kept nearby and threw it at the woman. She started screaming loudly. Suddenly, two wings came out of her back, and she started flying in the air. David saw that the lower part of that woman's body wasn't there at all. Her half-cut flying body was dripping with blood. The woman flapped her wings rapidly and broke the window and flew out. David couldn't understand what he had just seen. He immediately called the hotel reception and told them everything. Some staff members from the hotel immediately came to David's room. Looking at David's fear-filled eyes, they understood that the one David had just encountered was none other than the Manananggal. They told David that the Manananggal is a kind of evil spirit or witch who has the power to split her body in half. She can separate her torso, that is, her upper body from her lower body and fly. Her long tongue can suck the entire blood of any healthy person and kill them. Her real targets are always pregnant women, children, and good-looking strong men. After hearing all this, David became very worried. He had never seen such a creature in his life. Although David never believed in all these things, what he saw with his own eyes was beyond his understanding. An old hotel manager gave David some pouches of salt, crushed garlic, and ashes and said that if the Manananggal comes in front of him again, he should throw these pouches at her because it is said that her body burns from these things. The hotel people gave him another room near his previous one and David went to sleep that night with great fear. The next day, David started asking the people of the nearby villages about the Manananggal. The villagers also told him that every other day someone or the other was becoming a victim of the Manananggal. In the last month, 13 people had been killed, including 6 pregnant women and 4 children. All the villagers believed that a girl named Mia, who lived in that village, was the Manananggal and she was the one killing everyone. All the villagers wanted to kill Mia, but no one had the courage to fight her. David thought that he would go to Mia's house himself and check whether what the villagers were saying was true or not. David reached her house and knocked on the door. No one came for a while. The villagers' words began to affect David's mind. He began to fear that maybe he himself had walked into becoming the Manananggal's next victim. Just then, the door suddenly opened and David was filled with shame, because Mia was the same woman whom David had seen near the river. She looked even more beautiful up close. Before David could say anything, Mia said to him, "Please delete my photo because I don't like a stranger keeping my picture." David apologized to her and started asking her questions about the Manananggal. As soon as Mia heard his questions, she began to cry. Mia told him her whole story, how she loved a boy named Kidlat from the village who was her childhood friend. But just 3 weeks ago, on their wedding day, that boy became a victim of the Manananggal. All the villagers thought that Mia herself was the Manananggal and they threw Mia out of the village. And now Mia was 1 month pregnant with Kidlat's child, and she was very scared for him. David apologized to her and told her that now he believed that Mia was not the Manananggal. The two of them kept talking for a long time. In the coming days, both of them became very good friends and started spending the whole day together. David was deeply falling in love with Mia. He decided that he would take Mia back to Canada with him and take care of her and her baby. Both of them were going to leave that village the next night and go to Canada. The next night, around 9:30 p.m., David set out for Mia's house. On the way, he suddenly saw something flying in the sky and disappearing instantly. David stopped there and started heading toward the jungle. Just then, in the darkness, his foot hit something. When he saw what that thing was, he was stunned with fear. In front of him, the lower half of a woman's cut body was lying on the ground trembling. He understood that this was the lower body of the Manananggal. Seeing this, he checked his pockets and realized that the pouches given by the hotel manager to protect from the Manananggal were all left back at the hotel. Just then, he heard Mia's scream from nearby. He ran to Mia's house. The door was open, so David directly entered the house. And what he saw there made the ground slip from under his feet. The Manananggal was sitting there biting Mia's neck, ripping her body apart, and drinking her blood. Her sharp nails were dug deep into Mia's stomach. Seeing this, David shouted Mia's name loudly, which caught the Manananggal's attention toward David. She looked at David with great anger and attacked him with her long tongue. Before David could get up and do anything, the Manananggal took Mia's dead baby from her stomach in her hands and flew away. David tried very hard to pick up Mia, but she was already dead. After this incident, everyone came to know that Mia was not the Manananggal. David also returned to Canada after this tragedy, but perhaps he will never be able to forget that Manananggal.